There are useful ingredients to be gathered here, I'll wager.
Shall we see if there's aught to be found while we're here? It's a glad thing we rested.
Try not to get hit! There's still that fish go to waste!
One might confidently call that a resounding victory.
Well, I'm sure there's still room for improvement.
Come to think of it, we might already have what we seek stored away. Shan't let them harm you. Let me get that. Cave. Shall we proceed into the depths?
Keep your eyes peeled and beware of the dark corners.
That reminds me. Could add a warrior to our ranks.
They can sing even the most trusting bone breathing.
I knew that I could count upon your strength, Arisen.
This is for you, Master. I thought it might come in useful.
Battle is to be avoided, I take it, Arisen.
Together, we are indomitable.
Let us aim for greater precision with our next attempt.
This boulder looks mighty heavy, but we might just be able to move it if we combine our efforts.
Shall we set it rolling? We are none of us alike in vocation.
That is most fortuitous.
Let us utilize our individual strengths wherever possible.
Goblins approach!
We have no means of exploiting our enemy's weakness. I'll collect that. You needn't trouble yourself.
Fine display of skill.
You must cleanse yourself of that oil post-haste. Given our current vocations, we've little use for arrows. But we might as well...
Here you are, Master. I hope you like it. I found it myself. You're staring, Arisen. Has aught yonder caught your eye? One ill-timed dodge and I'm covered in bruises. Ingredients are plentiful hereabouts.
No harm in picking a few.
Quick! Douse the flames!
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Freshly rested as we are, this battle ought to be in our favor.
Over here!
I must confess, naught rattles me quite so much as the unexpected snuffing of my lantern light.
You too? I'm glad I'm not the only one. Tis a relief to be out under the open sky.
Such dark depths take their toll on the spirit.
That's just what I was thinking. Oh, I should tell you. There's a forgotten rift stone nearby. I found it beyond the rift. Shall we go there now?
There must be some way to make it over there. But how to go about it? Might we not make use of our flying foe to reach our destination? As a matter of fact, the one master I served was quite a carefree soul. Out in all its forms.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
You are mighty indeed, Arisen.
Here, a path. Is it so?
Pray, keep your wits about you. We needn't go barging in.
Our road was a long one, but here we are at last.
With this, the weapons we sought are all accounted for. Shall we present them to Sir Klaus? I believe I can guide you to the person in question.
The vanguard is yours. Lead on.
Now, what might that be?
Let us ponder how best to proceed.
Ah, now here's a surprise.
The thrill of discovery never gets old.
Interesting. I shall have to inform my own master of this. Great, follow me. Tis a glad thing we rested.
Try not to get hit, lest all that thing go to waste. We've earned ourselves a pat on the back.
Overconfidence is an enemy in and of itself. Let us instead strive to better ourselves with every battle.
Risen, aren't you forgetting something?
I shall take this opportunity to observe our surroundings.
homecoming I envisioned. I knew the village would be in a bad way, but never did I expect to see the entire basket of scorpions.
And I shall remain by your side.
There's a ladder. Shall we see where it leads?
Ah, excellent find.
Any loose coin about?
Good tidings, sir. How fares your retrieval of those plundered weapons? Oh-ho! You have procured an archer staff, I see. Most excellent. You may now change your vocation to sorcerer, if it pleases you, sir. However, if you wish to register as a warrior instead, you will need to acquire a great sword. Good tidings, sir. How fares your retrieval of those plundered weapons? Marvelous! You have acquired both an archer staff and a great sword. You may now change your vocation as desired, sir. What's more, I bear glad tidings. 'Twould seem our arms shortage is at an end. I dare say the armory will be resupplied anon.
A resounding success!
An achievement to be proud of.
What will our next adventure have in store for us, I wonder?
This looks as good a place as any.
What should I do?
This really is fine craftsmanship. I've heard some interesting tidings about town.
Oh, yes? I possess no ill intent, I assure you. I merely wished for a closer look at these bows. Those of other races differ so in design from our own, you see. I cannot deny I am curious about them. That's all 'tis, mind, curiosity. I have no desire to actually own one of these contraptions myself, and even if I did, it isn't as if I could purchase one. It would be unseemly for an elf to aspire to such a thing. No matter how they fascinate me, it isn't to be.
Well then, son. How might I be of service?
Gather round! Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my story entertain you,
Look, Master.
Well met. You are come to Shakir's. You will soon forget the fatigue of a long journey. You know where to find me.
welcome.
This might be worth a read.
It couldn't hurt to take a peek.
These foreign bows do so intrigue me, but I shall admire them from afar. It would be unseemly for an elf to purchase one. You would simply give this to me? Oh, that is most generous. I would gladly accept it. You have my gratitude. Fascinating. 'Tis not dissimilar from an elven bow in make, and yet 'tis unlike one in near every respect. Such as this bowstring. It looks quite the same, but the tension is altogether different. I suppose that comes from using different materials. Well, why do you stare? Perhaps you find it absurd that I should marvel so at a bow not of elven make. I suppose I sought inspiration, for I confess I find myself rather lost. My aim has suffered of late, such that my wayward arrows simply will not strike true. The timing could not be more unwelcome, as my skill with a bow is to be put on trial anon. Forgive me. I should not expect you to know of our ways. I speak of the trial of archery, a time-honored elven custom. Every elf undergoes this trial when they reach maturity. Till we succeed, we are not considered to have come of age. I have been training most diligently, yet my skills ne'er seem to take shape. Indeed, I fear my aim has only worsened with each new failing. I grew so vexed with myself that I sought to learn a foreign form of archery rather than master my own people's. Thanks to you, I now have the means to do so, though I dare say I shan't make any headway on my own. Say, would you be willing to give me a demonstration? It might be just what I need to find my aim. Please, sir, you gifted me this bow. I only ask that you show me how to wield it. Many thanks. I'm indebted to you twofold, but this is no place to practice. Would you be so kind as to meet me by the ruins north of Trevo Mine? That's where I train, you see. I'll be able to concentrate on your display of bowmanship much better there. I do hope you'll join me. For now, I shall bid you farewell.
Now, there's a worthy prize. If only 'tweren't so far away.
Gather round. Treat your ears to a tale by...
Well met, sir. Forgive my presumption, but were you the one who gave my granddaughter that medicine in Melv? I thought so. She's not stopped talking of her adventure since she arrived home. You have my sincerest thanks for aiding her. That girl's always running off on some fool's errand or other, for all my chiding. Once she gets an idea under her bonnet, there's simply no talking her out of it. Now listen, 'tisn't much, but I'd fain offer you a discount on my wares. Pray, make good use of it, won't you?
Got to try to enjoy life where and when I can.
Welcome and well met. Don't think I've forgotten your discount now. I'll knock a few gold pieces off aught you buy. So spend away, my good sir.
Always a pleasure. It takes two to make a sale, and this cellar had nothing to tempt us with. Our funds are better spent elsewhere.
Gold is a resource best spent judiciously.
Not much has changed.
Fancy a look at my wares?
Rowdy.
Something good will come of today. I just
Too early for dinner.
Oh, a ferry stone. With that in hand, we can leap from one end of the kingdom to another in a trice.
'Tis not an item to be squandered.
Gather round.
What did you think of that story? 'Twas well told and all, but not particularly exciting, eh? I mean, it's the sort of thing you hear bandied about the tavern every other night, isn't it? I'd heard tell of a beggar doing well for himself, so I came out here to learn his ways. Haven't learned much, that's for sure. And by the look of it, he doesn't appear to be making much for his efforts, neither. So where's all his coin coming from, then? Makes a man wonder, it does.
There's a ladder here.
After you, Arisen.
Gather round. Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my story entertain you, nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Powers most felt. Power not much going on.
What should I do? What to do? What to do? I've no mother or father to speak of, you see. So the nice people at the Gracious Hand take care of me. I wanted to get them a present to say thank you, and I thought a bunch of flowers would be just the thing. The problem is, I can't seem to find any good ones. Do you think you could help me? All I need is a bunch of pretty flowers. For true. Thank you ever so much, Arisen. I'm sure you'll find the prettiest flowers that ever were.
Let me get that.
Arms, arms for the poor. Pray grant those less fortunate some salvation.
Anything's better than this.
There are useful ingredients to be gathered here, I'll wager.
Shall we see if there's aught to be found while we're here?
I ain't gonna make any coin here. Gotta crack a few skulls if you want to be topped off.
There's no telling what will happen if I linger here.
How vast the sea is.
I imagine we would not escape a plunge into the water's depths. A common reward. Frustratingly so.
We'll find a use for it, I'm sure.
Arms for the poor. Pray grant those less fortunate some salvation.
I'm going to go exploring.
I swear I've not blinked once in a long
All the best tales come from travellers at the inn.
I've scriptured such once I've said my prayers.
Nice place is.
Try all of my I'm always doing about a dozen things at once.
'Tis a ladder. Shall we see where it leads?
We ought to put it to good use.
Well, you will soon forget the fatigue of a long journey when to the foremost hospitality in all Vernworth. You know where to find me. This inspires naught but misgivings.
Welcome.
Tranquil places such as this.
Someone with wines.
Gather round. Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my story entertain you, nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two for so kind.
Peruse at your leisure.
Places such as this.
Welcome to the Star Drop Inn. We serve all manner of fine ales here. Shall I pour you a cup to start you off? Wonderful.
Lots to do. A precious little time.
Welcome.
Your Majesty, your timing is impeccable. I just thought to call for you. 'Tis not a matter for prying ears. Pray, let us speak out here.
Fine wares.
Peruse at your leisure.
As I informed you when last we spoke, the palace is filled with the Queen Regent's sycophants. Should Disa denounce your Majesty as a false arisen, few would elect to doubt her. Yet if we are to prove your identity, I believe there is no occasion more suitable than the coronation. It was delayed so that the sovereign, that is, the false arisen, could convalesce in the palace, but the date has now been set. The central players in the court ought all be in attendance. 'Twould be a fine opportunity to display your Majesty's power. None would be able to deny that you are the true arisen then. There is a problem, however. Entry to such an event is limited to the chosen few. Only select members of the nobility and citizens who have contributed greatly to Vermont's continued prosperity will be granted entry. If your Majesty is to be counted among them, you will need to attend to a number of tasks. Pray, allow me to summarize them for you. The citizenry have called upon my soldiers to cull monsters that plague the land. I dare say, 'twould be a fine contribution were you to accomplish these tasks unaided. What say you? Might I ask for your cooperation in this matter? I thank you, your Majesty. There are 3 locales that have seen significant trouble of late. The first is Trevo Mine, to the northwest. We've had reports of goblins swarming in great numbers. Next is Half Village, west of Burnworth. I believe soldiers have already been dispatched to cull an infestation of Saurians there. Finally, there is a call for someone to locate a group of soldiers tasked with delivering freight. They were last seen crossing the second bridge on the eastern edge of Vermont.
Off we go then. There are beasts to be slain. I can scarcely wait to see what we'll discover along the way.
Well met, sir. Fancy a gander?
Arisen! I knew you loved this world too much to leave it behind. Good evening, Arisen. Should your pack grow over full, have no fear. I'll lighten your load by spreading it out among us pawns. I'm ill fond of the dark, but I'll serve you as best I can. I've a knack for combining materials that I hope you'll find useful. I'll craft aught I can using what's in my pack. I'm yours to command, Arisen.
What a waste of time.
The road was
On all sides.
When does my watch end? I've clean forgotten.
This is no good. Can't let myself get distracted.
I could swear I've seen what's needed here amidst what we have in storage.
A forgotten riftstone we've not discovered lies nearby. 'Tis this way, as I recall from my last sojourn beyond the rift.
Tis dark enough to warrant the use of your lantern, Master.
Prepare to engage! Are you all right?
I see you've been drenched. Dry off as soon as you can.
Monster seems to have dropped something. That was impeccably timed, Arisen. Could you come over here? This is for you, Master. I thought it might come in useful. Was I too quick for you, Master? Don't worry, I shall wait for you right here. 'Twas an eventful journey, but
We made it here all right.
I have a knack for gathering items and am ever on the hunt for new finds. I'll gladly try out any useful mechanisms I espy. Perhaps we might add a thief to our ranks.
In relation to that, ought we not add an archer to our ranks?
Indeed. I admire the deft skill with which they hit their marks.
Would be most efficient to make for our nearest destination first. The soldiers delivering freight were last espied near Vermin's eastern edge. That's not far from here.
The vanguard is yours. Lead on.
You have my... One of us has been drenched. Paths to victory are myriad indeed. That strategy never was ever
Unbelievable.
Well done. I shall take this opportunity to observe our surroundings.
A smashing success.
Let us try for the same result with our next attack.
Sleep. Or a comfy bedroll.
tale.
I'll teach them a lesson they won't soon forget.
Behold how the stars shine, Master.
Indeed, you are correct.
Weapons, Master! Shame I've never advanced against this foe. Are we all in the same boat?
The Risen has gone up in flames before my very eyes!
I should be glad to assist you, Arisen. What are you doing? When you're quite finished loafing about, we've a duty to attend to.
Arisen! I knew you loved this world too much to leave it behind. Our traits mesh well together. Each of us is suited to a different task. I have a knack for combining materials that I hope you'll find useful. I'll craft aught I can using what's in my pack. Our little band has come to feel like a family.